Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. We continue on with our derivation, looking for stabilizing syllability over spelling or connection. What is sensorality? So last time we showed affordability is a direct iteration of absorbability, iterating both the letters and then representing the consonants of the sound. So we're getting close to something. Hopefully my rights continue to be violated. Making me do one more step is, again, profound torture. But we continue on. Ability is able, and that's in total generality. And so, infinitesimality are the two, again, the two words that represent pretty much, this is where all, again, the linguistic representation, that ility from ability, that's where it comes from. Hard for you guys to see that, but we've, again, derived this general term for all function, right? Functionality is ability. So ability is able. Able can, right? Can and able. That's what that is historically. What is viability to liability, right? Naturally, liability, the ability to lie. We made that lawsuit ability, which is very natural because if you're liable for something, you can be sued. But viability, can something work? Clearly an extension of ability. But viability is potential, right? If that can happen, it's viable. If you think of a plan with your friends and say, that's viable, that has potential, right? That's what you're saying. Sensorality, the spelling will be on your screen. Senserality is absolution. And so trying to make, again, the linguistic logical difference between filtration from sentient beings and filtration from objects. But the words, again, mean the linguistics representing the words. When I say word, I mean the sounds. When I say linguistics, I mean the letters. So the spelling will work itself out. But that is how I spelled it there. Absolute is discrete, right? We have absolute size. Density is definite. Discrete is definitive. And then I also have absolute value. That is kind of like, again, the phrasing you'll see in math class, or the part of absoluteness that gets worked into proper ontology is absolute value. And you just, again, you have absolute density. Density is definite, and you just can't break down physical systems past two-dimensional components. And that's what going from pressure to force is. That's what's going from density to mass is. Censure concentration. And so this is another word that I remember in speciality, but right, that concentration, that C in there for centration. That was another thing to iterate. But density is concentration. Sensorality concentrates. And then I iterated that C to the S. Sensorality is concentration with the S. What is absorption to concentration? Right? If you're absorbing something, you're becoming more concentrated. Absorbing is censoring. Absorbing is censoring. Two different spellings, they'll be on your screen. What is affluence to affordability? All right, and that was the last word. Again, each title or each big result, we're all building up just to one linguistical structure, one theorem that, again, will reduce, stabilize sensorality, and the leftover will produce our new word form. But if you're more affluent, things become more affordable. Affordable is sufficient. Oh, that's good enough. That's affordable. That makes sense. Ordinal, no, we're not there yet. Affordable is sufficient. Ordinal, ordability. Or I just have ordinality, ordability. But again, clearly expanding the affordable, and that affordability is based on ordinality. Very clearly you can see that now. And then going from the ality to ability, we've made the very clear steps linguistically. Not sure what else to say. Sleeping recharges, right? And that is our fundamental physical property is charge. It has dichotomy, positive and negative. All things, all matter is made up of a dynamic of charge. And so, right, you say I'm sleepy, I'm going to go recharge, right? I'm going to go create a potential. I'm going to have the potential for movement. Right, recharging generates energy. And that would be like a slang theorem. Sensorality is recharged. And then I have concentration with the S spelling. And for example, like that'd be example which I'm sure you can't. It's correct, but I guess I haven't really qualified why I iterated the C to the S, even though we've geometrically shown that it's an iteration, it's an inversion, something another. But again, the nuance to this, there was nobody that could differentiate the logical presentation of this, but it is 99% done. So it's like we're just iterating these C's and the S's through all these concepts. Because again, we're still just learning a word. It's not complex. It's just all of this logic goes into a proof for it to be complete. But concentration with the S spelling, sensorality is centration. That's another one where it's, again, we formed a compound word, or we've derived a compound word. Because we certainly derived sensorality is scent, and then ration is a complete word. And so we're getting it into this point where, again, we can just define sensorality by just a space. Sensorality is consonality. Absorbing integrates. And that's a big one from physics, direct physical absorption. I have mass gap in my pores, so I can get moisture when I go in the shower. I get plump. I get more weight. I'm soaking wet. He only weighs 50 pounds soaking wet, right? Soaking, absorbing. But if you absorb something, you integrate it. And so that connects fundamental physics to math, language, litigation, and integration. Integration absorbs. Absorption is integration. And then we have sorption, gration. Sensorality is grateful. This is one where the spelling was interesting to me on a personal level. It's just like great, because right, a sensor is a grate. And we derived that way back when. That was like a couple hundred parts ago at this point. But grateful, right? Now we've taken a fundamental physical sensor, and then grateful, that's an emotion, right? You're thankful, you're grateful. So the spelling there was interesting, right? It definitely wasn't G-E-R-A-T, but then why is it G-R-A-T-E? But again, language is literal. Sensorality is grateful. And you think about it without the emotion, and it's full of grates, it's holes, it's porous. Which I wrote this down, I think I put it it was in the economics book, but pouring versus pouring. Like a P-O-R-I-N-G, which we've derived, and then pouring, which also has, again, that pour versus para, both in Spanish and then in French, pour, a four, it's four. We went through the Spanish and French part, but if pouring, like the natural definition, if you're pouring over something, the analogy is to like pouring liquid, or like syrup over pancakes is what readily comes to mind. So if you're pouring over something, that's the analogy you're referencing. Because when people say, I'm pouring over something like a book or the information, and they kind of like, they're trying to say like soaking it up, but it just, that always, again, the intuition of that just strikes me as immediately wrong. P-O-R-I-N-G versus P-O-U-R-I-N-G. And when people say pouring over, I saw it on the news and I sent it off on an email. And so that always, because if you have holes in your body and you put those holes over something, it doesn't like absorb it necessarily. I don't know, it jumped out enough for me to say something. If you see something wrong, you stick up for it. Pouring versus pouring was wrong, made me sad. But regardless, the same type of thing. Sensorality is grateful. Sensorality is gratuity. Gratuity, intuitive. Sensorality is gratuitality. Gratuity, tips. Gratuity, gracious. Sensorality is gracious, gracious, spacious. Finite is limited. Sensorality is limited. Spewing is the opposite of absorbing. Sensorality spews. And then that's another conceptual. You could say, I don't think, again, so opposite is extreme, and then we can say, well, I have theme, extreme. Again, another one of these connecting to the direct linguistics of mathematics. Thematics, theme, extreme. But I've tentatively labeled this the fundamental theorem of direction, right? Because we have one thing, we don't really have direction yet. And so for that to differentiate, I have opposition is the limit of inversion. The most different something can be is a complete opposite. And you get to that complete opposition through inversion. And so the fundamental theorem of direction, opposition is the limit of inversion. And so that is what I have for you today, at least for right now. My rights continue to be violated. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.